That Canadian guy is second. The Mill from New Zealand in back straight is fifth. YH8 Racing in NASCAR Bend is P3. That Canadian guy is second. The race dictator in Horseshoe is first. Todd is fourth. Best lap is a 1:49.424. That Canadian guy from Canada in Horseshoe is P2. Chris Butt is P6. The race dictator is first. Chris Butt in roller coaster is P6. The Mill in Snake is P5. Todd from New Zealand is P4. YH8 Racing in Hog Pen is P3. The Mill is P5. The race dictator is first. That Canadian guy in back straight is second. The mill is P5. Todd from New Zealand in Oak Tree is fourth. Chris Butt from New Zealand is sixth. That Canadian guy is P2. Chris Butt is sixth. That Canadian guy in roller coaster is second. YH8 Racing is P3. Todd from New Zealand in back straight is P4. The race dictator in back straight is P1. That Canadian guy in Oak Tree is second on mediums. Best lap is a 1:48.425. YH8 Racing in Horseshoe is P4 on mediums. That Canadian guy is second. The mill in Oak Tree is P5. Best lap is a 1:50.567. Todd from New Zealand in back straight is P3. Best lap is a 1:48.828. The mill is P5. The qualification session is at Virginia International Raceway in Alton, Virginia, USA. YH8 Racing is first on mediums. The Race Dictator from New Zealand is second on mediums. Todd from New Zealand in left hook is fourth on mediums. That Canadian guy from Canada in South Bend is third on mediums. Jason Short from New Zealand is seventh on mediums. YH8 Racing in Hog Pen is first. YH8 Racing is up 8.45 in left hook. The Race Dictator in Snake is P1 up 7.71. The Race Dictator is up 7.54 in Oak Tree. The Race Dictator is up 7.88 in Roller Coaster. YH8 Racing in Horseshoe is P4. YH8 Racing is up 3.22 in Snake. YH8 Racing is up 3.40 in Oak Tree. Five minutes remaining in the session. YH8 Racing is up 3.97 in roller coaster. YH8 Racing is provisional pole with a 148.420. The Race Dictator in Horseshoe is fourth. Best lap is a 149.093. 0.673 off pole. The Race Dictator is up 0.31 in Snake. The Race Dictator is up 0.44 in Oak Tree. The Race Dictator is up 0.17 in roller coaster. The Race Dictator improved his P3 with a 148.703. 0.283 off pole. The Mill from New Zealand is 7th on mediums. Best lap is a 224.428. 36.008 off pole. Jason Short in Horseshoe is 5th. Jason Short is up 0.28 in Snake. Jason Short is up 0.23 in Oak Tree. Jason Short is up 0.16 in roller coaster. Chris Butt from New Zealand in Hog Pen is 6th up 0.60 on mediums. Chris Butt improved is 6th with a 151.047, 2.627 off pole. The qualifying session is now in overtime. The race dictator is P4. The race dictator is up 0.36 in Oak Tree. The race dictator is up 0.18 in roller coaster. The mill in back straight is P7 up 0.80 on mediums. The mill improved is 6th with a 150.651, 2.231 off pole. Jason Short in Hog Pen is P3 up 0.33. Jason Short is provisional pole with a 148.089. Chris Butt is P7. Best lap is a 151.047, 2.958 off pole. Chris Butt improved is 7th with a 150.730, 2.641 off pole. Broadcast bot is P20. The race session is at Virginia International Raceway in Alton, Virginia, USA. Jason Short from New Zealand is P1 on mediums. YH8 Racing is 2nd on mediums. That Canadian guy from Canada is 3rd on mediums. 10 minutes remaining in the session. Race start. That Canadian guy passed YH8 Racing for P2. YH8 Racing in Horseshoe is 2nd. That Canadian guy is P3. The race dictator from New Zealand is P6 on mediums. YH8 Racing in Oak Tree is 2nd. Todd from New Zealand is P7 on mediums. YH8 Racing in Hogpen is second. That Canadian guy in horseshoe is third, 2.7 behind YH8 Racing. YH8 Racing in left hook is P2, 0.9 behind Jason Short. The Mill from New Zealand is P5 on mediums, 3.1 behind Chris Butt. YH8 Racing in Oak Tree is P2, 0.4 behind Jason Short. The Mill is P5, 1.9 behind Chris Butt. YH8 Racing in Hogpen on lap 2 is second, 0.5 behind Jason Short. The Mill in Hogpen is fifth, 1.9 behind Chris Butt. YH8 Racing in NASCAR Bend is P2, 0.7 behind Jason Short. The Mill is P5, 2.4 behind Chris Butt. YH8 Racing is P2, 0.6 behind Jason Short. Five minutes remaining in the session. Chris Butt is sixth. Chris Butt lost P6 to Todd. YH8 Racing is second, 0.9 behind Jason Short. The Race Dictator is P5, 1.8 behind the Mill. YH8 Racing in NASCAR Bend is second, 1.6 behind Jason Short. The Race Dictator in NASCAR Bend is fifth, 1.0 behind the Mill. YH8 Racing in Oak Tree is second, 2.3 behind Jason Short. The race dictator is P5. Best lap is a 1:48.752. 0.587 off the fastest lap. YH8 Racing in Hogpen is second. Best lap is a 1:48.412. 0.247 off the fastest lap. The Mill and Roller Coaster is fifth, 0.6 behind the race dictator. YH8 Racing in NASCAR Bend is P2. The Mill on lap 5 is P5, 2.2 behind the race dictator. YH8 Racing in Oak Tree is P2, 2.1 behind Jason Short. The Mill is P5, 2.5 behind the race dictator. The race dictator was 3.0 faster last lap. YH8 Racing is P2, 2.2 behind Jason Short. The Mill in Hogpen is P5, 2.9 behind the race dictator. YH8 Racing in Snake is P2 on mediums, 3.0 behind Jason Short. Todd on lap 6 is P6, 3.4 behind the Mill. YH8 Racing in Back Straight is P2, 3.5 behind Jason Short. The leader has just finished the race. Jason Short finished first. YH8 Racing finished second. That Canadian guy finished P3. The race dictator finished P4. The Mill finished P5. Todd finished P6. Chris Butt from New Zealand finished P7. Broadcast bot is 8th. The race session is at Virginia International Raceway in Alton, Virginia, USA. Todd from New Zealand is P1 on mediums. The race dictator from New Zealand is P2 on mediums. That Canadian guy from Canada is 3rd on mediums. 10 minutes remaining in the session. Race start. That Canadian guy passed Todd for P1. The race dictator in horseshoe is P3. YH8 racing in NASCAR Bend is P4 on mediums. The race dictator is 2nd. Chris Butt from New Zealand in South Bend is 3rd on mediums. Todd entering the pits is P6. Chris Butt is now 2nd. YH8 racing in back straight is P3. Chris Butt in roller coaster is 2nd. Todd exiting pits on mediums. YH8 racing is 3rd. Chris Butt in NASCAR Bend is P2, 1.1 ahead of YH8 racing. YH8 racing in Snake is P3, 0.9 behind Chris Butt. Chris Butt is P2, 0.5 ahead of YH8 racing. Jason Short from New Zealand is P4 on mediums. Best lap is a 2:10.587. 11.456 off the fastest lap. Chris Butt is 2nd, 2.6 behind the race dictator. Jason Short is P4, 4.8 behind that Canadian guy. Jason Short is now P5. YH8 Racing exiting pits. YH8 Racing is P5. YH8 Racing lost 5th to Todd. Chris Butt is P2, 3.7 behind the race dictator. That Canadian guy in Snake is P4. Best lap is a 1:48.495. 5 minutes remaining in the session. Chris Butt in back straight is P2 on mediums, 3.9 behind the race dictator. The race dictator was 1.3 faster last lap. That Canadian guy in back straight is P4. Chris Butt from New Zealand in Horseshoe is P2, 4.1 behind the race dictator. The race dictator was 1.8 faster last lap. That Canadian guy is 4th, 4.0 behind Jason Short. Chris Butt is P2. Jason Short in South Bend is 3rd. Chris Butt in Roller Coaster is P2, 4.8 behind the race dictator. Jason Short is 3rd. Best lap is a 1:49.551. 1.056 off the fastest lap. Chris Butt is 2nd on mediums. Jason Short in NASCAR Bend is 3rd. Chris Butt is P2 on mediums. Jason Short in Oak Tree is P3. Chris Butt in Hogpen is P2 on mediums, 4.9 behind the race dictator. That Canadian guy from Canada in back straight is P4. Chris Butt in left hook is P2. Jason Short in Snake is third. Chris Butt is P2. Best lap is a 150.597. 2.102 off the fastest lap. Jason Short in back straight is P3. The leader has just finished the race. The race dictator finished first. Todd finished P5. Chris Butt finished second. Jason Short finished third. That Canadian guy is fourth. That Canadian guy finished fourth. Broadcast bot is 7th.